What if I told you there was a man so rich he lost $1 billion every single year, not from bad investments, not from business failure, but because he literally could not store his money properly. In one night, he burned $2 million in cash just to keep his daughter warm. And that's not even the craziest part, because later in this story, you'll see the one decision that turned all that power into a trap. The same man built his own prison, ran a country from inside it, and almost became president. Welcome to RBS, Real Billionaire Secret Channel. This is where future billionaires come to understand how power, money, and control actually work beneath the surface. If you're new here, subscribe and turn on notifications, because what you're about to learn, most people will never even think to question. This is the story of Pablo Escobar. Before we go further, comment power. If you're here to understand how influence really works, I read every comment. By the end of this, you'll understand why power is more dangerous than money, and more importantly, how the same pattern is still happening today, just in more sophisticated forms. Let's start where it all began. Number 1, control of 80% of the cocaine trade. At his peak, Escobar controlled 80% of the world's cocaine trade. Think about that for a second. 8 out of every 10 shipments somehow traced back to him. This wasn't just a criminal operation. This was global dominance, a monopoly that stretched across continents. At that level, he wasn't competing. He was deciding the rules. Number 2, $30 billion net worth. At one point, his net worth was estimated at $30 billion. That made him one of the richest men alive. But here's what most people don't realize. That number didn't include the money he couldn't even count. Billions sitting in storage, untracked, unmeasured, uncontrolled. Because Escobar's biggest problem wasn't making money. It was handling it. Number 3, losing $1 billion every year. He buried cash underground, hid it in walls, stored it in warehouses, and every year he lost nearly $1 billion to water damage, fire, and rats. Yes, rats, eating his money, physically destroying millions in cash. Pause. Think about that again. Not losing money in business, not losing money in markets, losing money to rats. That's when money stops being a solution and starts becoming a liability. Number 4, spending thousands on rubber bands. At one point, he spent over $2,000 every month just on rubber bands to hold stacks of cash together. Not financial systems, not banking infrastructure. Rubber bands. That's when wealth loses structure and becomes chaos. Number 5, burning $2 million in one night. Then came the moment that defined everything. While hiding in the jungle, his daughter was freezing. So Escobar made a decision that defies logic. He burned $2 million in cash just to keep her warm. In that moment, money lost all meaning. And if money can't solve your problems at that level, then what really matters? Up to this point, you've seen money. Now you're about to see power. Number 6, building a social empire. Escobar didn't just rule with fear. He ruled with generosity. He built homes for the poor, football fields, entire neighborhoods. He created opportunities where there was none. To many people, he wasn't a criminal. He was a provider, a hero. Be honest. Do you see him as a hero or a criminal? Comment your answer. I'll heart the most insightful ones, because this is where perception starts to shape reality. Number 7, entering politics. Then he did the unthinkable. He entered politics. In 1982, he became part of Colombia's Congress. A man running a global criminal empire was now part of the government, writing laws, influencing decisions. And the most dangerous part, he didn't think he was wrong. That's what happens when power goes unchecked. It rewrites your sense of reality. Number 8, building a structured criminal network. Escobar didn't operate alone. He built a network of politicians, police officers, lawyers, smugglers, an entire system designed to protect and expand his influence. At that level, this wasn't a crime. This was an organization. more structured than some governments. Number 9, innovating drug transport systems. To move his product, he became highly innovative. Drugs hidden in tires, inside coffee shipments, within aircraft compartments, even experimental submarines. This wasn't random. This was calculated execution at scale. He wasn't just moving products. He was building systems. Number 10, a $60 million per day empire. At his peak, his empire generated $60 million every single day, over $20 billion a year. That level of cash flow creates a new kind of problem. Moving money becomes harder than making it. Number 11, moving $100 million per trip. Escobar bought private jets just to move cash, up to $100 million per trip. He even bought an island just to refuel those planes and turned it into a luxury escape. At that level, money wasn't stored. It was constantly moving. Number 12, disposable aircraft. Some planes weren't even meant to return. After delivering drugs, they were abandoned or destroyed. Think about that. Machines worth millions, treated as disposable tools. That's how much money he had. Number 13, fear of extradition. Despite everything, Escobar had one fear: extradition to the United States. He feared it so much, he offered to pay off Colombia's entire national debt, $10 billion, in exchange for immunity. The government refused, and that refusal changed everything. Number 14, declaring war on a country. Escobar didn't hide. He fought back. Bombings, assassinations, terror. He turned Colombia into a battlefield. Thousands of lives lost. Cities destabilized. This wasn't business anymore. This was war. Number 15, building his own prison. Eventually, he surrendered, but only on one condition. He would build his own prison, La Catedral. Inside it, a football field, a bar, luxury rooms. No real guards. It wasn't a prison. It was control freedom. And even there, he continued to run his empire. Even there, he ordered killings. Number 16, he controlled fear more than money. But here's where it becomes psychological. Escobar didn't just control money. He controlled fear. People didn't obey laws. They obeyed what they feared. Police avoided neighborhoods. Judges changed rulings. Communities stayed silent. And the most dangerous part? He didn't need to be present. His reputation did the work. Fear arrived before he did. He didn't control land. He controlled behavior. Number 17, the paradox of escape power. But here's the part no one talks about. By the time the world caught up to him, Escobar wasn't running an empire anymore. He was running from it. Everything he built turned into pressure. Every ally became a risk. Every city became a trap. Every dollar became noise. He once controlled movement. Now, he couldn't stay in one place. The most powerful man in Colombia became the most hunted man on earth, not because he was weak, but because he had become too visible to hide. In 1993, he was tracked down and killed. Just like that, the empire collapsed. All that money, all that power, all that fear, and it still ended like that. So ask yourself, was he powerful or was he trapped? Common power or trap? Here's the real billionaire secret that most people never learn. Escobar made billions, but he had no structure, no systems, no control. Real wealth isn't just about making money. It's about keeping it, growing it, and living without pressure. If you want momentum in your life, don't chase fast money. Build control money. Money that is tracked, protected, structured. Because money is without control, always turns into pressure. And that's the difference between money and power with control. If you found this valuable, the next video will show you how real wealth is actually built. Click it now, because the people who watch that next video are the ones who move differently.